Happy holidays to everybody. Hope everyone has had a great holiday season as we head into this new year for 2022. It is going to be an exciting year. We hope everyone has taken the time to prepare and set your goals and your intentions for a prosperous 2022. And again, when we talk prosperous, we want to make sure that, again, that you've broken down each of these goals into smaller, achievable action items so that you have that greater possibility of actually fulfilling everything that you set intentions to accomplish. If you need any assistance, feel free to reach out to us here at Business Influencers at Chris@ChristopherSalem.com. Welcome to the Business Influencer Show, again, through TALRadio. Again, we're very excited to have you here as a listener. The show would not be where it is today if it wasn't for you, the listeners that come each and every week to join us in celebrating your victories, your wins, and bringing in guests that share their wisdom, insights, and expertise to help scale your level of influence in business to the next level. We're going to be talking today with Joel Salomon, and Joel is a personal friend of mine, and I'm so grateful to have him here. He's going to be sharing some insights from his book, Infinite Peace and Prosperity, and he is just wonderful person to get to know, very smart. And before I introduce Joel to the show, I'm going to give you a little background about him. Joel is a prosperity coach who helps others to overcome obstacles standing in their way of financial freedom. In 2021, Joel published personal money management bestseller, Infinite Love and Money with Molly C. In 2019, Joel published the 9 Money Rule Millionaires Use, Only the Unconventional Ones, which was a bestseller in both self-help and personal finance. In 2018, he published Mindful Money Management, Memoirs of a Hedge Fund Manager, which also was a bestseller. Joel is an award-winning speaker and frequent podcast guest, as he is here today. He has led over 20 workshops teaching the concepts of how to overcome limiting beliefs. He has spoken at numerous Rotary and Lions clubs in the New York metropolitan area and at Mercy College's MBA program, as well as at Mike Dooley's Infinite Possibilities Training Conference in New Orleans in March of 2018, and again this year in 2021. He has appeared on TV with CEO Money and Between the Covers. He's also been a guest on more than 50 podcasts, including Talk Radio NYC, Westchester Talk Radio, Voice America, Redesigning Your Life with Sabrina Soto, Going Solo, Smashing the Plateau. I can keep going on and on and on. And Joel has been quoted in the Wall Street Journal, Newsday, U.S. News and World Report, and interviewed in Forbes and on Bloomberg Radio. I can keep going on, but I'm going to let Joel talk a little bit about today, what we're going to be talking about in this topic, and you'll see where all his contributions to business and personal lives in general really make a difference. And without further ado, we welcome Joel Salomon to the show. Joel, how are you doing today?
Great. Thanks so much, Chris, for having me on. It's truly a pleasure to be here. I am so grateful for you and all you do. So thank you for having me. It's just a really, really great pleasure. Much gratitude to you.
Absolutely. Well, I love this title that you talk about, infinite, talk about I love that word infinite. Talk about infinite when it comes to prosperity. It talks about, again, what that means to people. What is that word infinite? We always think it's like, it never ends, but a lot of times people just put boundaries on things. Set the stage a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we talk about infinite peace and prosperity, which is, of course, starting in February. And we titled it Infinite Peace and Prosperity because, like you said, people think about abundance and prosperity as limited. When I was growing up, I was told, we can't afford that. Money doesn't grow on trees. That's too expensive. I even got screamed at by my dad when I left the light on in my room and we left the house. Joel, we're not a shareholder of Long Island Lighting Company. Shut that light off. So it was all scarcity and lack, and we don't have enough. And yet there's almost $450 trillion of net worth on this earth. To me, that's infinite. Right? That's the amount of net worth has grown from $1 trillion a little over 100 years ago. So imagine that growth in just over 100 years. it's almost infinite. And I talk about the wealth and abundance compared to things that we don't really think about on a daily basis, like our breath and how much we breathe throughout our life and our heartbeat. And we're not thinking about these things, but this is happening unconsciously without us working for it. And they're almost infinite. The amount of solar energy generated by the sun on a yearly basis is enough to power this earth for thousands of years. That's almost infinite. So what we're talking about in our course is to change mindsets about peace and prosperity to infinite peace and prosperity, as opposed to this limiting belief that there's not enough, there's never going to be enough. And if you open your mind to the possibilities, the infinite possibilities out there, then you can really change your life, your beliefs, your thoughts, your words, and then you can have all your dreams and desires.
Joel, I mean, that's an interesting point. Here's what I'd love you to share on. There are some people and that either have experienced this, because I've been there before, and then maybe they're going through this right now. They're going through a lot of adversity. They're living paycheck to paycheck. They could be in debt. They could have had some setbacks in their business, their careers, that maybe they got laid off. And now they're like, again, they can't just seem to kind of get out of their own way. They're so caught up in what you just said, what's holding them back. They're caught up in the problem. Talk about the process, about like, no matter where you are, that sometimes those things that are happening to you that are not pleasant are actually blessings, because we have to start with something that's not working well to be grateful and appreciate when we are. And like what you said, with all the everything we do and how we think, if you could share some insights for people that may be in that place right now.
Yeah, no, I feel for a lot of people who have been laid off in the last 18 months. Has been a big shift in restaurants and bars and hotels. And I used to visit the Roosevelt Hotel in Midtown on a weekly basis for years, and now it's shut down. I just think about all those people that I interacted with, those thousands of people that probably really struggling right now. And so it really does come back to and I know when you're in the middle of it, it's very difficult. For me, I went through a really difficult divorce 14 years ago. And if you told me, Joel, this is a gift, I would have slapped you in your face. Just get out of here. Like, I know it's hard to hear. It's really hard to hear, but there is, if you search for it, a gift in your biggest challenge. And I will tell you, from my divorce came huge gifts. I've shifted my thinking. I've become more of a soulful person, thinking about how other people are dealing with their challenges. Obviously, people who are going through difficult divorces now, I can empathize with them really clearly, because I know exactly how hard it can be when you're going through that situation. So it is important to think about what you can be grateful for, even when you're going through your difficult challenges. And this is actually in my second book, The 9 Money Rules Millionaires Use. Rule number 5, gratitude. And again, it may be hard to do, but start with simple, really, really simple things. And I recommend in the book to write down 5 things you're grateful for every morning and 5 things you're grateful for every night. Call it a gratitude journal, and get a separate notebook and just write down these things. And it doesn't have to be amazing, awesome things. It can just be, I'm grateful for waking up this morning. And if you had a really terrible day, I'm grateful for the day ending, right? And I will put every morning and every night, I'm grateful for my daughters, who you see behind me, Lauren and Morgan. That may be a bigger thing, the miracle of life, but write down basic things. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for my faith. I'm grateful for my intuition. I'm grateful for just being able to walk outside, or I'm grateful for a sunny day, or I'm grateful for a rainy day. Just think about things in your life, little things. And what I say is, when you appreciate what you appreciate appreciates.
Yeah.
And what the more you're grateful, the more things come into your life that you can be grateful for. And we're talking about law of attraction. That's what it's all about, right? What you put out, you get. And if you're putting out more and more gratitude, you'll get more and more things to be grateful for in your life. And I know this may be a big change for some people. For me, up until 2012, right before I went to sleep, I would think about all the things I could have done better that day. All the things I screwed up. And that's not a good way to go to sleep.
No, you don't sleep too well like that.
Right. So and you go over and over it in your mind, all those quote unquote mistakes. I actually don't say they're mistakes, just lessons learned now.
Yes.
But it's really much better for your mental health and your sleep to think about the things that you can be grateful for that happened that day. Like tonight, I'm going to write down, I'm grateful for Chris Salem.
Yeah. I'm going to be grateful for you being on the show here. I mean, right before the new year, here we are, and you taking the time to be here.
Thank you. So we in Infinite Peace and Prosperity, we go through each of these rules in the book, The 9 Money Rules Millionaires Use. And I'm doing this course with Chara Rodriguera, who's I call her a master meditation teacher. She's also the creator of Soul Path Yoga, and she's written 2 amazing poem books, as well as just being a really mystical, magical mindfulness teacher. And we go through each week. She does a centering on the topic we're talking about, and then I teach one of the 9 money rules. And we go through an exercise each week, and it's really to get people from wherever they are right now towards financial freedom as quickly as possible. And I know some people may be saying, come on, but I really truly believe that when you change your foundational principles about beliefs and thoughts and use the gratitude journal and you use the specific, what I call them spiritual rules in the book, that abundance will flow to you. And it's gonna seem like when it does flow, you'll be like, where was this before? Like, how could it have been this easy? But when you're following these rules that the masters know, it really can change your life, and it can change your life quickly.
And it's so true. I mean, think about what you just said, Joel. Like, I mean, the foundation, like when you have a beautiful home, you got to take time to nurture the foundation. How we think determines how we be, to become, to do, and have different, better results compared to when we were thinking in a stinking thinking way, which I've been there before. And
absolutely.
And talk about how that impacts our internal, perhaps our internal dialogue, our external dialogue to other people. We're not using words like want and need, which are very, putting the control we don't have control over. We put more emphasis on that versus I will, I desire, where we put emphasis on the things we can control. Like you said, the gratitude, and we can control our emotions and our attitude. Talk about that and how that impacts our decision-making, our confidence, to that attraction factor you were just talking about.
Yeah, no, that's really, really important. I say our thoughts become things and our words give us wings.
Oh, I love that.
Right. So thought and foundation, like you said, if you don't have a strong foundation, the whole house falls apart.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why we teach these foundational principles first. Like, I've had people come to me potential one-on-one clients and say, teach me everything you know about the stock market. Teach me everything you know about real estate or crypto. And I say, no, I'm sorry. Unless we start with these foundational principles of thoughts becoming things and beliefs and emotions and taking responsibility for your life and not blaming others, not blaming the government or the economy or other people or this disease, you can't get from here to there without these foundational principles. So that's why it's so important to say, okay, first of all, I got to take responsibility for my life. And you can't say, well, I create this, but no, I don't create that. That's that other person's fault. I blame them or this or that. If you can it sometimes it can be difficult, but I empower people to say, I create my life. I create all aspects of my success and all aspects of my financial success. And so once you take that responsibility, then you can create. And then you can create everything you want in your life, as opposed to giving up responsibility by saying, well, that's their fault, or that's the economy's fault, or the government's fault, or the president's fault. So I take full responsibility for my life, and I take full, I've been divorced twice. I take full responsibility for it. I created it, and I learn from it, and I move on. And so having the foundational principles, okay, what are my beliefs around money? Do I believe that I have to work hard to be rich and successful? Do I believe that you can't be spiritual and rich? What are your foundational principles? Do you believe the rich get richer and the poor get poorer? If you have these limiting beliefs, then it's going to be really hard for you to get rich if you're spiritual, right? If you believe you're spiritual and you say you can't be spiritual and rich, you have this going on all day long, right? And then you may get some and then it just goes away. Are you worthy? I teach affirmations and the proper way to say affirmations. Like you said, Chris, words are really freaking important, right? I am is the most important 2 words in the English language.
Yeah.
I am worthy. I am rich. I am spiritual. I am worthy of financial success. So using I am is putting things in the present or past tense, right? And as opposed to I am going to,
Yes.
Putting it out to the future. So if you're saying I am going to be rich and you're saying that all day, that may be somewhat positive, but it's even more powerful to say it's a good thing I'm rich.
It's in the moment. It's right here, right now.
Right. And so and what's even more important and more powerful is to put your name in the affirmation, to say it out loud, and to say it with emotion. I, Joel Salomon, am rich, with emotion, right? Saying it out loud, as opposed to saying it in your head or not putting your name in it. That kind of affirmation is the most powerful way to say an affirmation.
Wow. I definitely agree. And Joel, talk about, like with this process of manifesting more financial well-being, when you're working on your financial well-being, manifesting more, money into your life, the life that you're looking to create. How important is the consistency or certain things that you do each and every day?
I think having a discipline is so important. And we talk about our morning routines all the time. So I think it's important to, win the morning, win the day, right? And so having time for yourself to do your affirmations and not get interrupted. And, rule number 4 in the 9 money rules is visualization, creative visualization, which I just say is daydreaming on purpose. Spend 3 to 5 minutes a day thinking in your head, writing down 3 dreams or desires, and then focusing on one of those dreams and desires for 3 to 5 minutes in your head, picturing yourself driving in your dream car or at your dream house or going on your dream vacation or being with your dream partner, and doing that for 3 to 5 minutes. And that's your time, and don't get interrupted. And the same thing with your affirmations. I have audio files on my website for free you can download, and they're audio files to improve your self-esteem or to get better organized, to take responsibility for your life. And just listening to those, they're about 8 of them, minute and a half, 2 minutes, so it's 15 to 20 minutes a day of listening to these audio files, doing affirmations, doing a visualization, and but don't get interrupted, and have a discipline. Keep that discipline of doing it. And I was actually telling one of my clients just this week that a lot of people will go on vacation for a week and not do any of their disciplines. And then they come back and they feel awful. They just want on vacation.
Yeah.
Right. And so I say, look, you don't have to spend, if you have I have a 2 hour, and you don't need to have a 2 hour morning routine. I have a
Yeah,
2 hour
that's me
morning
too. I
routine.
have two hours. Yeah.
So you don't have to, and maybe you start with a half an hour, but try to do something on when you're even on a holiday to keep those practices going, to, keep the gratitude journal going. I actually bring my gratitude journal with me on my vacation and write down 5 things every morning. And there's a lot of good things at the end of the day. So it might not be only 5, right? All the experiences I've had with my daughters on that day. So, but keep the discipline going. Even when you're on holiday, do a few things. If you do 6 things, do 1 or 2 at least, just to keep the mindset, because you don't want to come back from a vacation and then be in a lower vibration than where you were before the vacation. So yeah, I think it's important to have a discipline and keep it going. Habits, like there's one client I started with about 6 months ago, and I teach various disciplines like you do. And one of the disciplines I teach is listening to my powerful abundance meditation. It's 7 minutes, and it does shift your energy. And he's made it a practice now. And he says, he does it twice a day, and it's part of his daily routine. So that's 14 minutes of his day that he is shifting his abundance and prosperity vibration and frequency to a higher level every single day. And 6 months ago, obviously, he wasn't doing anything. So it's just small little habits that you get into. I say, if you do it for around 3 weeks, it becomes part of your discipline. So if you can start with a few days and then keep on going, it can really change your life. So, we talk about changing disciplines, changing thoughts, changing words, you change your life.
Yeah, love that. Love that. So again, foundation, discipline, consistency, habits, all of these things that set the foundation. Again, Joel mentioned 2 hours. I can agree, because I've been doing that for almost 23 years. Joel and I have had numerous conversations on this. Again, start today with something. You could always move up to 2 hours or anything in between. It's, again, getting that consistency. Joel, what would be some other things that you can share in the next few minutes to really round this whole conversation up around infinite peace and prosperity, that people right now heading into 22 can do different? We talked about the foundation, but some other things that you could suggest that they could look into to start making changes in their lives and their careers and in their net worth.
I think beliefs may be the most important of the 9 money rules. And, we delved into it a little bit, but I think about what limiting beliefs you may have around money and how you can shift them, right? So it's, how do you shift a limiting belief to empowering belief is by just flipping it, right? So if it's, there's not enough, or that's too expensive, why not say it's a good thing I'm rich, right? And then the next really powerful aspect of changing beliefs I teach, and we teach in Infinite Peace and Prosperity, is acting as if. And I think I told you a story about my daughter, Lauren, who got into Syracuse University recently. And she really wanted to get in, and she decided, she knew that early decision was coming mid-December of 2021. And so she planned a party for her closest friends and not so close friends at her mom's house on the Friday of the week that she was going to get early decision. She acted as if she had already gotten in.
Yeah.
And then she threw the party, and the night of the party at 5 p.m., the results were supposed to come, and she hadn't had the results. And one of her friends said to her, "Lauren, what if you don't get in?" And she said, "I'm going to get in." She had faith. And an hour later, she got the email. So the point is, what can you do to act as if what you want to happen has already happened? Now, it doesn't have to be, if it's that dream car, you don't have to actually buy the dream car. Don't put yourself in debt, but you could actually go on a test drive. You could actually go online and check out prices and see where the car is. or if you want that dream partner, I talk about putting together a vision board. You could buy tickets or look at 2 tickets for shows or 2 tickets to a certain place as if you already are with your partner, right? There's things you can do to act as if, look at how much 2 tickets are to a Broadway show. Acting as if doesn't have to be spending money, but it does shift your energy. It's shifting your belief from not enough to what I want to have is already here now.
Wow, that is powerful. And I love that story about your daughter. I mean, again, for a young person, you're already thinking in that way, but obviously she models after her father. So the good news is that she gets to take off years of the things that you and I had to figure out, right?
Yeah, it's great to kind of leave a legacy and to know that, so I learned this stuff, 15 years ago when I was in my 40s, and she's learning it. And as a teenager, how powerful is she going to be in her 40s and 50s, right?
Absolutely. Well, Joel, I mean, you have shared so many words of wisdom. I wish we had another half an hour to go. We could go on. And I know you have so much more to share with the audience here. How can people get in contact with you? What you're up to? What would you like to provide them? And how do they reach out and get in contact with you?
And so first of all, anyone listening right now, they can text to the number 66866 NMR for 9 Money Rules, NMR. And if you put in your email address, you'll not only get a free audio file and written cliff notes to one of my favorite books, Ramtha, but you'll also get a white paper called The 5 Mistakes New Millionaires Make. 5 mistakes. So act as if you're already a millionaire if you're not, and sign up and you'll get that free white paper. So that's first of all. Second of all, you can reach me. So then you'll get on my email list for a free weekly video on a money tip or just something interesting that I want to talk about. And then you can reach me at salamour.com. That's SALAURMOR.com. So my company's named after my daughters, Lauren and Morgan, so Salomon. And then if you're interested in getting more information on infinite peace and prosperity, it's salamour.com/IPP. Again, that course starts February 8th, 2022. And if you sign up before the end of the year, 2021, it's 777. After the new year, it's 888.
Oh, fabulous. We highly encourage everybody listening or those that will be listening later as you share this show with your colleagues, peers, loved ones. Again, please check out and take Joel on his offer. Reach out to him. He has much more wisdom to share with you into this particular area. We want to thank Joel for being here. Joel, thank you so much. And we want to thank you listeners for being here each and every week. We want to wish everyone a happy new year and a prosperous 2022. And we'll see you after the new year. Have a great day, everyone.
Thanks so much, Chris. Appreciate it.